Good morning everyone. Myself Madhusmita Biswal, the Faculty of Civil Engineering. So today we are going to start a new chapter, that is waterlogging and drainage. So in this chapter we will be reading about waterlogging, causes and effects of waterlogging, what are the prevention and its measures of waterlogging. Okay. So here we will be discussing first about what do you mean by waterlogging. Waterlogging refers to the saturation of the soil with water. Soil may be regarded as the waterlogged when the water table of the groundwater is too high to conveniently permit an anticipated activity like agriculture. In agriculture, various crops need air, specifically oxygen, to a greater or lesser depth in the soil. Waterlogging of the soil stops air getting in. In an irrigated agricultural land, waterlogging is often accompanied by the soil salinity, as waterlogged soils prevent leaching of the salts imported by the irrigated water. From a gardening point of view, waterlogging is the process whereby the soil blocks off all water and it is so hard it stops air getting in and it stops oxygen from getting in. So from this we know that waterlogging is the saturation of the soil with the water, and soil may be regarded as a waterlogged when all of us know if the water is full in the soil may be alkaline in nature and the plants do not grow properly. That is known as waterlogging. So next we will be reading about causes of waterlogging. So there are 8 causes of waterlogging. First is seepage of water from the canal system, poor surface runoff and slow drainage, interruption of the surface runoff. Next is rainfall. Next, that is floods, poor water management by breaking hardpan at a canal bed, railway lines or roads. So first we will be reading about seepage of water from the canal system. The main cause of waterlogging in Pakistan is seepage of water from the network of canal system, that is 40 to 50% of water is lost from the main canals, seeps through the soil and raised through the groundwater. In some cases, the water table has risen up to the root zones or even the surfaces of the soil. Next, that is poor surface runoff and slow drainage. The soil surface of the Pakistan is flat, so surface runoff is poor and hence slow drainage results in accumulation of the water on the soil surface and moves to the water table under the influence of the gravity. So next, that is interruption of the surface runoff. Construction of the irrigation network and housing colonies in the path of the natural drains interrupted surface runoff, resulting in accumulation of water in rainy season, which contributes to the waterlogging through seepage. Next, that is rainfall. After heavy rainfall, the rainwater percolates down the pores between the soil particles under the action of gravity. Flood water spreads on the surface of the soil in plains. Due to the inappropriate drainage system, this water percolates in the soil and raises the water table, which causes the waterlogging. Next, that is poor water management. Sometimes the farmer use their land unscientifically for excessive irrigation, lack of inadequate drainage system, by breaking hardpan at a canal bed. During the cleaning season, the digging of the canal breaks the hardpan of the soil at canal bed and enhances the seepage of the water. Next, that is railway lines or roads. The construction of the railway lines and roads in floodplains interrupted the passage of the runoff water. Water collected in rainy season is in the form of a ponds, percolates to the soil, which results in waterlogging. Next, that is, what are the effects of the waterlogging? The air in the soil pore is replaced by the water, leading to the oxygen deficiency and hence reduces the water growth. In waterlogging, the soil transport of the gases is reduced, disturbing the normal growth. Limited exchange of gases increases the amount of CO2, which affect the transpiration and water absorption. In absence of oxygen, Microbes produce the toxic substances such as methane and affects the growth of the plants. Next, that is there are some images of the waterlogging. You can see here the effects of the waterlogging. We can see here. Here you can see the plants are destroyed because the water is so heavy in that area. Okay, so these are the four. You can see the waterlogging here. So all of us know that the water has been sent to the agricultural land for the betterment of the crops. So we can say that the irrigation land is affected by the waterlogging. Okay. So next, that is, what are the methods of controlling the waterlogging or preventive measures of waterlogging? First is lining of canals and water courses. Attempt should be made to reduce the seepage of the water through the canals and water courses. This can be achieved by the lining them. It is very effective method to control the waterlogging. Next, that is reducing the intensity of irrigation. In areas where there is possibility of waterlogging, intensity of irrigation should be reduced. Only a small portion of irrigable land should receive the canal water in the particular region. The remaining areas can receive the water in the next season by the rotation. Next, that is by provision of an efficient drainage system. An efficient drainage system should be provided in order to drain away the storm water and excess irrigation water. A good drainage system consists of a surface drains as well as the subsurface drains. Next, that is by improving the natural drainage of the area. To reduce the percolation, the water should not be allowed to stand for a longer period. Some relief in this direction can be obtained by removing the obstructions from the path of a natural flow. Next, that is by introducing the crop rotation. Certain crops require more water, as we also know that, and others require the less water. If a field is always sown means grown with a crop which requires the more water, then the chances of waterlogging are more. If we avoid this, a high water requiring crop should be followed by one requiring the less water and then by one requiring the almost no water, which that means rice may be followed by a wheat and wheat may be followed by a dry crop such as cotton. So this is all about the preventive measures of the waterlogging. First is lining of canal and water resources. Next is reducing the intensity of irrigation. Next, by provision of an efficient drainage system, by improving the natural drainage of the area. Last one, that is by introducing the crop rotation. Next, that is we'll be reading about what do you mean by salinity. If the concentration of the harmful salts in the root zone of a plant increases to such the extent that plant growth is affected, this situation is called as salinity. Okay, as all of us know, you can also know that if the soil of the root zone is full of the harmful salts, then that soil will be the alkaline in nature and that plant will not grow further and that plant growth will be affected. That situation is called as salinity. Next, that is causes of salinity. The factors contributing towards the problem of salinity are almost same as that of the waterlogging. Every agricultural soil has certain mineral salt is called as alkali salt. When these soluble alkali salts are excess in soil and for the groundwater table is very near to the ground, then this salt get mixed with the groundwater. So next we'll be reading about what are the types of drainage system. There are two types. First is surface drainage, next one is subsurface drainage. So in the surface drainage, it is a removal of the excess rainwater which falls on the fields or the excess irrigation water which is applied to the field by constructing upon ditches, field drains and other related structure. Next is subsurface drainage. The plants needs air as well as the moisture in the root zone for the survival. Excess irrigation farm water is free to move into the underground tidal drains. If the subsurface drains are required for the soils with a poor internal drainage and a high water table, then if no impervious layer occurs below the farmland and the water table is low, then the 3 meter from the ground, the internal soil drainage may be sufficient. So this is two types of drainage system. Okay. So this is all about this chapter. Thank you.